Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly and maintenance video for you on this little guy right here. This is the Reate Knives Tribute. Of course, this is not the best knife in the world. This is just a tribute. Tenacious D reference? No? Anyways, what we have here is a relatively small front flipper. This is kind of a follow-up to the, what was the Bushido? Yeah, interesting. Centering-wise, we are very, very slightly favoring clip side, not by a large margin. Action is good, real good, actually. Kind of excited about this knife. I want to carry it. Obviously, I'm going to carry it, but I'm excited to carry it just because it feels like, in a lot of ways, exactly what I wanted after the Bushido review. The Bushido was an interesting knife, but a little bit, I have studied the ways of the blade for my particular taste. Not exactly my style. And so I'm sort of hoping that this guy is sort of my style. Not that I am lacking for pocket knives, but, you know, still. What we're doing here is taking this guy apart. Free spin and pivot. Alrighty, let's go ahead and stabilize the back side of that. And, yeah. Now I have, and by the way, if you're curious about this or any of the tools I'm using during this or any other disassembly, of course, nickshabazz.com/tools. There we go. That's popped loose. At least it's tooled on both sides. No major deal. Okay, now this is looking to be maybe T6. Please not T5. Yeah, T6. Okay, pop that loose. And this loose, and we are apart. Well, not quite, but close enough. Come on. There we go. And we are apart. Come on. There we go. We are apart. I'm going to just keep saying that until it's true. In fact, that's my next disassembly. I just stare at it, say, we are apart. We are apart. Okay, that's a little weird, right? He says, watching a guy in a Batman mask disassemble knives. Look, weird is on the table. All right, it's been a long day, people. It's been a very long day. Not necessarily long in the bad sense. You know, it's been a fine day. I've had good meetings. I've been getting good stuff done, but boo. It is 6:30 p.m. Just sitting down to do some channel work for the day. Well, my lovely wife is making the dinner, which I'm grateful for. But anyways, it's been a day, and so I'm probably a little bit crazy here. I am also drowning, not in the water sense, not in the Michigan humidity sense either. Dude, bro, stop. But in the sense of I have a lot of gear on my table right now, so I gotta do some reviewing, right? And balancing that like, oh my God, I have to do some reviewing with I want to do it right. Not straightforward. Come on. Get off out of there. Yeah. Come on. There we go. This was, as usual, put together with some variety of earwax or another. Usual for Reate, at least. Hopefully this will clean up a little bit better. Then and run a little nicer still. What's this going on? Seeing this discoloration right here? Zoom in a little bit. Question for me when I see discoloration like that is that just discoloration or is there something on there? That is indeed just a little patina or something on there. Whatever, not a big deal. All right, let's go ahead and I've cleaned off the blade now. We do see a little tiny detent ball ramp, which is a joy. Nice to see. We see a little bit of wear already for the detent ball on there, just from a little bit of basic flipping. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean off these washers here. And these washers, of course, are the bearing race, basically. Little piece of presumably stainless steel that the bearings can ride against, which is a great thing, right? Big fan of that. I'll pop the pivot the rest of the way out. That'll let me clean it a little bit more easily. And that should also let me get to this washer on the other side here with this little guy, which is a watch spring bar tool, and should allow me to lift that bad boy off. Beautiful. And by doing this and then wiping off the detent ball, we will be done. Hold on just a second here. The detent ball, look at that bad boy. That is rounded, or I'm sorry, flattened off. They have flattened the top of the detent ball. That explains why the action on this guy is rather sweet. Nice. Nice. Then the inside of the, oh, cool, the Zerk inlays is screwed in from the inside, which is how we don't have another screw on the outside. Okay. You know what? I'm going to be real with you. I'm pretty impressed here. Construction-wise, pretty solid, right? Can't get too bad out of shape about this. I just found the burr, actually, on the... Let's see if I can show you this. Right there. See? Little tiny piece of what I assume to be titanium. Come up off of there. There we go. And knock that loose. Where are you? Scooby freaking do. There it is. Okay, good. It's out of the system. You don't want burrs like that ending up under washers and things like that. Very often, actually, I will get emails from people or Instagram messages or what have you, saying, you know, Nick, oh my God, I took apart my blah, 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 blah. Replace that with a knife name. And suddenly, it was fine before I did, but then suddenly it was that the action was terrible. Everything was off-center, it was gritty, and 99% of the time, my advice to them immediately is, well, do it again. And that sounds wrong, right? That sounds cruel or rude, and I'll put it more nicely, but very often that is exactly my advice, and it works. Because what's happened is you've got a little piece of, you know, look, thread locker gunk or a little burr or something like that. You've got a little piece of something or another that is fallen in to the works here, because if I were to have, for instance, a little piece of something between this washer and that would put everything out of alignment, and then everything would bind, the action would be terrible, the knife wouldn't be centered, it would be a tragedy of the very, very low-key proportion. But nonetheless, that would not work well. And so my advice always there is just like, try it again. And if it's still screwed up, then maybe there's a bigger issue. But in all likelihood, it just means that something got caught in there. There was a little bit of grit, something like that. Another good sign that you've got something like that going on is if you are opening and closing it and you're feeling like crunchity crunch, 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 crunchity crunch, that probably means you've got something rolling underneath the bearings there. And so you just need to get back in there again. Make that a thing. Okay, stop pin is on this side. That's fine. I'll make sure that gets installed. A little bit of... But anyways, that is my advice. And like I said, 99% of the time, it's like, oh my God, that was great. Other times, people might bend something. I should make a video about this. So I screwed up a disassembly. What do I do now? Okay. So, that is a good video idea. Huh. This is a very sharp edge, but that's okay. Because it's, there we go. In order to get everything snapped down, I actually needed to engage the lock bar here. I kind of did that as a matter of course, but I should mention that. In order to get those kinds of things snapped together, you often will need to engage the lock bar. That way, because, you know, naturally, a knife locks by virtue of having a tension between the lock bar, the stop pin, and the lock bar face there. Let me put a little bit of thread locker on this bad boy here. Now I'm thinking the so I screwed up a disassembly video needs to be a thing. Not I screwed up a disassembly video, like I just did right there. But so I screwed up a disassembly, comma, big comma, massive freaking comma, video. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm just going to put the blade away here, and then I'm also going to tighten this down very lightly. Well, it needs to be light because it's free spinning, right? But that's okay. That works in my favor in this case. Now what I'm going to do here is reinstall the little tiny screws, little baby T6s. Put that in there. Do I need the thread locker on this? No, not really. The reason I say that is that, well, the screw comes out, it's... Oh, wrong one. If the screw comes out, it's going to be trapped by the inlay, so no real harm there. Okay, so now, before I reinstall this, at this point in time, the knife is structurally back together, right? I'm missing a piece here, that's important, but I should be able to flip this guy. That's nice. And I realize that it is, in fact, way too loose. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is take the free spinning pivot holding tool, namely a second driver, and install and tighten a little bit more. Okay, that's too tight. Let's go ahead and loosen just a little bit. Still too tight. I have no idea what sensory experience Ooh, that felt better. What sensory experience has led me to understand when a knife is too tight, but it now exists, right? I feel like I could still back this off a little bit more. This is one of those problems that is very hard, like from a cognitive perspective, right? Training a machine learning algorithm to determine this would be very difficult, I imagine. Hold on. Hear that? It was probably like a hair or something like that trapped in the bearings. Seems to be calmed down, though, largely. Let's go ahead. It's feeling pretty good. I don't think I can turn this anymore without this going too loose. But let's see. Yeah, there I'm just over the line. So, I rotate just a little bit. Is there play? I'm going to give this just a slight bit more close. Like, not much, but just a little. Now, that was too much. Oh, well. There we go. That feels good. Unencumbered. And we are ready to go. Now I just reinstall this inlay. The reason by the way, I could have done all that with this inlay off, but the reason I didn't do it with the inlay off is simple that if I needed to get back in there, if I had screwed something up, I could get back in there more easily without unscrewing the inlay again, right? Just sort of a Murphy's Law application. Like having the inlay in place is going to decrease the likelihood of problems. I'm sorry, having it out of place, that is. Because now at this point, this inlay is just cosmetic, right? Well, and ergonomic, quite strongly so. But all right, there we go. Okay, that's better. That's quite nice. I could do this a little bit looser. I'm going to try it. Just the slightest of scotches. Okay, that is better. And no play. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, that's sweet. Okay, cool. So we're good. Hope this has been interesting. And I was able to contribute to your knowledge of this knife. And there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.